Hello YouTube, it's Alec here with Yu-Gi-Oh! Underground coming at you with my Lenexus Kansas City regional report. Hopefully you have taken the time to watch all of the deck lists that we've posted on this channel in the last day, or you will take the time because everyone there was just phenomenal. We got some great deck profiles. We had some great successes with Vince LaRosa, our very own Yu-Gi-Oh! Underground player, making top 8, winning a Star Eater mat that just is gorgeous, and our own Zach Bush almost making top cut, and we also had Ty make top 32 as well. So overall, a good day for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Underground. Not so hot for me. As many of you may or may not know, I am a freshman in college this year, and this month of September has just been crazy with me trying to adjust to the new lifestyle, get in the classes, looking around at other campus organizations to bide my time with. And so my playtesting for this event consisted of the night before. I did not take Zach Bush's video on preparing for regional success to heart, and I suffered the consequences coming in the 69th position out of 320 players, and I'm going to get so much crap for that because the number 69 haunts me. It was my parking spot number in high school. It was the last 2 numbers of my high school ID. Like that number haunts me to no end. I get so much crap for it. But nonetheless, I probably deserve to get crap for it because I lost on the bubble, so kind of deserve it. You may or may not know, I played Constellers at this event. The reason I played it was obviously because it was the deck I took to Nationals. It was the only deck in the format that I knew I had enough experience with to pilot semi-well. And what I was really preparing for was after YCS Toronto, I felt like Dragons were going to be the dominant deck, and so I wanted to ensure, first and foremost, that my deck would have absolutely no problems with the Dragon Ruler matchup. The Dragon Ruler deck was quite popular. I ended up going undefeated against it. I played 3 of them, beat all 3 of them. But while preparing so hard for the Dragon Ruler deck, I left myself at a little bit of a disadvantage to other decks in the format, which is kind of a good lesson that I learned at the regional, and hopefully something you take away from. But let's get into a quick deck profile, and then I'll give you the report, and we can call it a day. 3 Pollux, 3 Cows, 3 LGD. Some people are opting to drop this card. I don't know why. I think every game where you can make a first turn Xseed play, whether it be Omega, Ledes, Preysape, or M7, or Starliege, or anything like that, like, you just set yourself on course to win the game. So I wanted to have a first turn play as much as possible, so stick with the 3 LGD. 3 Constellers Sombre, card is broken. 2 Constellers Sheraton. I used to be running 3. I will tell you why I dropped to 2 when we get there. I do not run Pod Duality. I prefer Constellers Sheraton over Pod Duality because if you first turn Duality, what you're looking for is a Constellar monster to set up your play, and the card you want in the late game is Constellar Sombre. And in both scenarios, this card, Sheraton, gives you exactly the card that you need. And Pod Duality is just a calculated gamble at best. The card can be Veilered, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, being a Constellar in name, it also helps you with Sombre grind games, providing you more resources in the graveyard to plus harder if you end up with a Sombre under safe zone, which did happen quite a bit, just to ensure that your plus engine keeps going. For the hand traps, played 2 Maxi, felt like this was the perfect number, saw it just as much as I wanted. 2 Effect Veiler, same thing, I felt 2 and 2 was the perfect number, and 1 Honest, that card is broken. Next for the spells, we have 1 Rhoda, 2 Tenki, 3 MST. MST is super good this format with all the broken field spells running around. You can hit a Dragon Ruler's Dragon Ravine. You can hit a Spellbook Tower and cut them off from the pluses they need to win the game. And you can also, against any other deck, force out back row to get your Leedy/Omega onto the field. And if you can do that against back row heavy decks, then you have the setup and you have the momentum and you will just win from there. One Lance, if I could play a 41st card, it would have been a Lance, but I wanted to keep it at 40 so that I could set up my first turn play as much as possible. One book, this is my Star Rare, Book of Moon. Star Rare Book of Moon has this magical ability that I never see it, so it was like running 39 cards, because I will never see Book of Moon. And last but not least, 3 Upstart Goblin. I have a whole video on why this card is good, so I'm not going to explain it. You can watch that video if you want to know what I think on Upstart Goblin. Traps, Warning, Compulse, 2 Emptiness. Didn't feel like I needed 3 since I had max C's, but wanted to auto-win those Dragon matchups, wanted to auto-win the Mermail matchups, and that's what Vandy's Emptiness lets you do. 3 Safe Zone. Extremely good in the Dragon matchup, extremely good in Evil Swarm matchups and other matchups like this. Like, what Safe Zone's good against, it really wrecks, because if you don't play an easy out to Safe Zone, then you can just grind out with anything under Safe Zone and just have advantage and win. And last, 3 Fiendish Chains. It's the only good trap left in the game. And what do you know? Leedy's lets you reuse it. Extra deck, 2 Omega, 2 Leedy's, 1 Praesate, Master of Blades out, 1 M7, Generic Force, Star Liege, Diamond Direwolf, Geiger Cowboy, Abyss Dweller, Crazy Box for Skill Drain and Eradicator, Mace Stroke, rank 5s, just a Tyrus and a Vulgasaurus, and finally a Gaia Dragon to round out the just slap Fiendish Chain in the face and OTK with what's his name? Vulgasaurus. And tokens. Side deck. My side deck was very poorly made. I made it the day before, trying to anticipate things that I was not really briefed on. So you bear through this and don't ever keep it. Dark Hole, what Mass Destruction Rex. The only thing I sided against was Mermails, and I drew it every game, and I was not happy about drawing it, because I was always drawing it when I was in a position where I had committed monsters on the board, so I would have rather just had like a piece of recursion or something to further my plays instead of just having a dead Dark Hole in hand. But still a good card. I'd still probably side it, because like stuff like Black Wings and whatnot. What Mass Destruction Rex. 2 Smashing Ground. I thought I was going to see a ton of Constellers, so I sided it for the mirror match. I sided it for anything that would, like, frogs that will play Obelisk, because I can't beat that card, and Smashing Ground beats that card, and Harpies, which I thought had a lot of hype behind them, because this card is an out to Phantasmal Dragon. But I did not see any of those decks, did not play a mirror match, and so the Smashing Grounds remained unused for the entirety of the day. 2 deck lockdowns for Mermails and Prophecy, and anything else that needs the deck. I think I sided against Madolches too. 1 Eradicator. I would actually take this out. The problem with this card is that if you commit 3 cards to it, and the only Prophecy player I played, I activated it, and I got 2 spells out of his hand, but everything else was traps, and he proceeded to draw 3 monsters, and I just lost under Eradicator, because I didn't have the setup, because I forewent making an Omega to make a Crazy Box to make the slide. I didn't have the setup to beat him, so I would make this a 3rd copy of DNA Surgery, which I already played 2 of, because DNA Surgery just destroys Prophecy. 2 Iron Wall for Prophecy and Spellbook of Fate. 2 Gozen matches for Dragons. I 2-0'd all of the Dragon players that I played, and I did not see this card at all, so this card was probably a little bit redundant. And last, 2 Royal Decree for Chainburn and decks that require trap cards, because I felt like the Constellar boss monsters in a void of trap cards against decks that play a lot of trap cards are better than their boss monsters. So if I could take traps out of the equation, I would just win those games. And I didn't actually draw these decrees enough to actually test that theory. I drew 1 once against Medolce, my round 9 Medolce loss, which his deck is on this channel, and it was, by the time when I drew it, it was already too late. Like, my monsters were already gone. I didn't really have anything to do with it. And last but not least, 7 tools. I felt 7 tools was better than Trap Stun, and ultimately I felt Decree was better than Trap Stun because you can bounce this back with leadies and reuse it and a bunch of shenanigans. But I felt 7 tools was stronger than Trap Stun because if you 7 tools, like, if you can 7 tools, you can end the chain. And every time I side in Trap Stun were the same matches, I was making Omega in, and so I would use Omega's effect, and they'd chain, and then I'd activate Trap Stun, they'd chain something else. But with 7 tools, like, they activate, you go Omega chain, they chain something else, use 7 tools, and then it forces the chain to resolve, which means your Omega effect resolves, which means you don't have to worry about back row for the rest of that turn. I ended up drawing this only once, and I drew it against an X-Saber player, and it was fantastic in that matchup, and I didn't even realize X-Sabers were a deck, but we'll get to that in a brief tournament report. So for my rounds, I played... Round 1 was against Dragons. I 2-0'd it. There's really nothing to say there. My round 2 was Medolce's. He was running 3 Swift Scarecrow and 3 Threatening Roars. So game 1 I beat him, but game 2 I Upstart Goblin twice, and then he Magic Cylindered me, and then we went into time, and I couldn't do anything because he had a Threatening Roar or Swift Scarecrow on every turn. Round 3, I played Prophecy. I lost. My deck auto loses game 1 of that matchup. Spellbook of Fate's too good. That's why I cited DNA Surgeries, Eradicators, and Iron Walls to shut, and deck lockdowns, which is like 7 cards. There might have been more, but at least 7 cards in my side deck to just auto win that matchup. Didn't see any of them except for Eradicator. Game 2 I activated it, and he opened all traps and drew into 3 monsters, so I lost from there. Prophecy's a very strong deck this format. Vinceros topped with it, but really nothing else to say on that. Played another Dragon Roar player, 2-0'd him. Nothing to say except game 1 was hilarious because I safe zoned a Gaia Charger and ran over his Dandelion tokens that he couldn't get over he couldn't get them off the field until it was game. Round 5, Mermails won. Nothing to say there. That deck just loses the emptiness and deck lockdown and stuff. Dark Worlds, 2-0'd them. He didn't even get the classic Dark World game 1 because Dark World's just not strong without being able to turbo into card destruction. You really just kind of don't have the resource. That deck doesn't have the resources it used to. X-Sabers lost. He set 3. I thought he was playing Mermails, and I opened poorly. I opened double Cows, so I summoned Cows, set 3. He trap stunned humbly, blew out my back row, proceeded to win from there. Then I OTK'd him the next game. Then on the next game, he trap stunned again and OTK'd me. Game 2, I had the 7 tools backing up my OTK. That was the only time I ever saw it. Then I played Dragons. My round 8 Dragon player who I played was Zach Gower. It was like a quick draw Dragon thing. It was really one of the most unique decks of the day, so I took a deck profile on it. Hopefully you've seen it. If not, go on this channel and find it, because it really is something unique. It really is something fun. Game 1 took 27 minutes, but Game 2 I just opened Nutty, and he didn't open the outs to my Nutty openings, so he couldn't get that. And my round 9 was the Medolce player, who's also featured on this channel. Really great guy. I felt really bad because I was really tired at round 9. I was misplaying left and right, and I was doing math wrong on the paper, and he had to keep correcting me, but he was a fantastic guy. His deck was a fantastic and a unique techie build of Medolce, so if you haven't seen that, go ahead and watch. And that put me at X3-1 on the bubble, so I lost, but really, I'm not disappointed because it was a great time. Got some great deck profiles. Got to meet some great people. That was actually my first regional I've ever been to that has not been in St. Louis, so really fun, and hopefully we can keep improving our regional coverage. I felt like we got more deck profiles and more reporting done at this regional than any that we've done in the past, and I hope to continue that quality. We'll have a lot from you from St. Louis's regional next week, and I hope you stay tuned for that. And that's really all I have to say on Monexus Kansas City in a brief video, hopefully, and hopefully you took something away from it. I definitely over-prepared for Dragon Rulers, and it definitely did leave myself vulnerable to a lot of those back row heavy decks like Madolches and X-Sabers. But, like I reaped what I sowed. I beat all the Dragon Ruler players, and I lost to some subpar matchups. So, take care. X-Sabers and Prophecy and stuff.
We have